Talking Giga Metals today. Giga Metals trades as GIGA on the Toronto Venture Exchange, HNCKF, the OTCQB in the States. As they've been in the news lately, some impactful news, in fact, as their test results support potential carbon neutrality of Giga's Turnagain Nickel Project up there in the Golden Triangle in northern British Columbia. Here to run through the details of that news and give us a general tour of the company, CEO Mark Jarvis. Mark, appreciate you taking the time here, and certainly we'll want to dig into today's news and today's activities. Before we do so, for those not familiar with Giga Metals, you're quite a unique company working in the electric vehicle industry, of course, nickel up there in the triangle. Why don't you run through how the company got formed, and then we'll get into today's news.
Well, I actually took over this company in 2004. I came out of retirement to take this on. I had made good money in a previous deal that was an extremely large resource. It was the first natural gas resource play. And we ultimately, it was a company called Ultra Petroleum, we ultimately proved up 3 trillion cubic feet of gas reserves, proven. And that company made me a lot of money, and I retired. And then a couple of years later, this came across my desk, and I was just bullish on base metals and looking at investing in the base metal sector. This thing caught my attention because it's an extremely large resource. It's low grade, and the economics are marginal at the low end of the nickel price. And this is very similar. I saw something very similar in concept to Ultra Petroleum, which had this enormous resource. You knew it was there. It wasn't drilled off yet, but you knew it was there. And you knew that the economics were marginal at the low end of the commodity price. Projects like that have a balloon effect to the net present value as the commodity moves higher. So if you've got something with a huge resource and tiny profitability, and then the commodity price moves higher, you get this huge expansion of profitability. And it's really phenomenal, what it can do as an investment. It's what you call optionality. And it's not for everyone. I mean, you have to be willing to take the risk that you're right on the commodity price. So, but it's the sort of thing that if you are right, it gives you the most leverage to being right on the commodity price. That's what attracted me. That's, I don't mind taking on some risk for exposure to that kind of leverage.
Yeah, leverage is certainly a powerful thing here, and you might just be on the right side of this. So let's talk about that. We've got the wind at our back here as far as commodity prices go. Demand for electric vehicles never been stronger. You're in a friendly place. Let's get into the flagship here. What's got you excited, and the work to be done with the Turnagain Project?
Well, it's the size of the project. So we just completed recently an engineering report, a PEA, that models, a mine that can produce 37,000 tons of nickel per year for 37 years, and the deposit's open. So full stop. That is a big project, and if you look at the emergence of electric vehicles and the demand that that's going to create for nickel, I've seen estimates that, nickel could go from today's market of about 2.5 million tons of nickel per year, only half of which is suitable for batteries, that you could need another 1.5 to 2.5 million tons a year of nickel just for batteries for electric vehicles by 2040. And that is another 40 to 70 projects the size of Turnagain. You need 40 to 70 giant nickel projects to come on stream just to feed battery demand between now and 2040. And that's kind of exciting because I don't know where those projects are. I know where a few of them are, but I don't know where 40 of them are.
Well, I certainly don't know where 40 are, and this is what you do for a living. So, hey, let's get into the current day activities here, Mark. Investors like busy companies. You look to be a busy company. Let's walk through the work to be done over the summer here.
Well, the next thing that we're going to be announcing, in fact, we've we just announced it actually, is we've been doing test work on our tailings material. We took a bulk sample of the residue from a bunch of metallurgical test work we were doing and passed it on to Dr. Greg Dipple at the University of British Columbia. And Dr. Dipple has been studying CO2 sequestration in silicate tailings around the world for more than 15 years. So nickel mines such as Mount Keith in Australia, diamond mines such as Diavik in the Northwest Territories, so warm climates, cold climates. If you take a silicate rock and expose it to the atmosphere, it will absorb CO2 and gradually it will convert to a carbonate mineral. And the CO2 is locked away in mineral form for geological time periods, like hundreds of millions of years. It's gone. And this process is happening all around you all the time, very slowly. But now you take that silicate rock, you grind it up fine, which you need to do to extract the nickel, which we would be doing to extract the nickel. And then you spread the silicate sand out and expose it to the atmosphere. The absorption rate of CO2 goes way up. And the test work that we've recently completed with Dr. Dipple at UBC shows that we will be able to realize our ambition to build the world's first carbon neutral nickel mine. And when I say carbon neutral, I mean truly carbon neutral without buying carbon offset credits. And that's kind of exciting. That's it fits in with the thematic of electric vehicles being good for the planet. Other sources of nickel and other large undeveloped nickel deposits, such as HPAL projects, have quite a high carbon footprint. Call it 20 tons of CO2 equivalent per ton of nickel produced. And we think we can get our project to zero. So you've got benefits, I think, that will be desirable for makers of electric vehicles whose customers want to be doing some good by buying the electric vehicles.
Absolutely. Let's get into the health of the company here, Mark. The share structure seems right to me, and how much cash you got in the bank, fuel in the tank to execute your plan right now.
We've got about $9 million Canadian in the treasury right now, no debt. We're going to be spending significant money this summer. We're doing a drill program that will gather the data we need to advance the engineering from the preliminary economic assessment stage to the pre-feasibility stage. So just a lot more detail. And we think we're going to be able to incrementally improve the economics. We started with a very conservative engineering report. Our internal engineer, Lyle Tritton, is conservative by nature. And so we wanted to set a baseline with our PEA that will improve as we really drill in on the engineering. So that's where the money's going. We're drilling and doing other work to gather the data we need to advance the engineering of the project.
Well, certainly painted a picture of being pretty busy here this summer. So before I let you go here, Mark, let's craft a message for investors. A lot of opportunities out there, maybe not so many in your sector here. But what makes Giga Metals different? Why follow or be a part of the treasure hunt with Giga Metals?
Well, I think this is not about geological risk, like a lot of stories that you follow are. You're exploring for something, you're hoping to hit something. We already have an enormous resource. This is a pure bet on the commodity, nickel. And by the way, cobalt. We've got the ratio of nickel to cobalt in our concentrate is 18 to 1. So we've got a significant cobalt byproduct credit. Both of them cathode materials for batteries. So that's really what it is. We know what we have. Nickel is trading at a price that's a long-term low. We analyzed nickel over the last 40 years, by the way, in 2020 dollars. And so for the last 40 years, the average price of nickel, the average price is $11 a pound in 2020 dollars. And we're sitting just below $8 a pound right now. If you give us the average price of nickel, we've got a robust project that's got a wonderful PV8 value. And so just getting to the average will do a lot of good for this project.
Okay, well, certainly appreciate the tour of Giga Metals there. That's Mark Jarvis. He's the CEO, GIGA, Toronto Venture Exchange, HNCKF, OTCQB in the States. Again, Mark, appreciate you taking the time there, and we'll certainly look forward to checking back in when Giga Metals hits the wire again.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Rob. Appreciate it.